My name is Emmaalouise. I am a filmmaker and photographer. It often starts with trying to describe or recreate a moment instead of telling you exactly what's going on. The experimental side of my work is the main tool for me to be able to play around and find new ideas for audiovisual work. DIY aesthetics, working with a film, and then destroying the film. Sometimes the mistakes and the decay, or what looks like a mistake, is where my attention probably lies. I'm a very photographic person. The cinematography is always important. It will be the starting point for me to explore what it is I'm trying to say. Why limit yourself with moving pictures when a single shot can say just as much? I love playing around with different film and formats. I don't even think I ever had a Polaroid camera, but you go back from everything that you would have watched being a child, and Polaroids are just there. They're somehow embedded in memory, I think. They're like a bit of a memento. And my great-nan gave me my first 35mm camera that is about to go into retirement because I'm terrified of it getting completely broken. This camera has been at every photo shoot I've ever done because I know the ins and outs of this camera and I know exactly how it will look. I'm getting to the point now where I have been shooting for over 10 years, so I've got over 10 years worth of negatives, photos, pictures, Polaroid, Super 8 film. Sometimes there'll be a time when I'll imagine a picture that I've taken and I'll have to find it in one of these suitcases in order to kind of bring it back to life. There's all these pictures, there's negatives and rolls of film, but I can pretty much remember taking every shot I've ever taken. If I look at a picture that I've taken, I will remember how it felt to look through the viewfinder. I can remember framing it up, getting the exposure, and it's just something about looking through the viewfinder that just takes you back to where the picture was taken. One of my first ever film teachers gave me a Super 8 camera to shoot with, and I remember going out and shooting in a cornfield. Anything that has that kind of cinematic, filmy feel, I think, is where I try and get my work. It has to feel like a film, it has to look like a film visually, and then bringing the sound in as well. It just has to be a typical film for it to work for me. Every part of the filmmaking is important. Even on the bigger projects, I like to do a bit of everything. The editing, I'm really enjoying at the moment. It's just as important as the shoot itself. Crafting that story in the edit, it changes so much. I think a lot of people looking at my films, it often gets described as quite old or vintage. I like those kind of things. I like the traditional approach, but I kind of wouldn't describe it in that way. I prefer to kind of mix times and textures. I'm very inspired by vintage stuff in general. I love patterns, texture, and just the colour, and anything I think you can bring from that into the modern day, I think is great. I wouldn't say I'm trying to make my work look old, it's just I like using old stuff to make new work.